What is meant by angular velocity and what is meant by angular acceleration? Very simple. It is denoted by letter omega, that is d theta by dt. What is meant by d theta by dt? That is the rate of change of angular displacement is equal to angular velocity. And similarly, what is the angular acceleration? It is denoted by letter alpha, that is d omega divided by dt. Means the rate of change of angular velocity is equal to angular acceleration. So SI unit, that is radian per second, and SI unit of angular acceleration is radian per second square. So dimension formula is mass absent, length absent, only time present, that is t raised to minus 1. Dimension formula is m0 l0 t minus 2. Now it is the vector quantity, it is also vector quantity. Remember, most importantly, what is the direction of angular velocity and acceleration whenever the particle performing circular motion? So let's we draw the diagram. This is the diagram. Here the object is present here having mass m. Now it is moving in anti-clockwise sense. Next diagram, object is here, mass m moving in clockwise sense. So we have to find out the direction of angular velocity when the object is moving in anti-clockwise sense. So आपको बस thumb rule use करना है, right hand thumb rule. So ये जो भी direction है, that direction shows the direction of movement of that particle, and thumb shows the direction of angular velocity. Remember. So in this example, so what is the observation? Particle is moving in clockwise sense. So whenever the particle is moving in clockwise sense, so that is our finger shows the direction of motion of that particles and thumb shows the direction of angular velocity. So for second case, so direction of angular velocity is inward. For this case, direction of angular velocity is outward. Remember. What about the angular acceleration? You have to remember the two important notes. Whenever the angular velocity is increases, so the direction of angular velocity and angular acceleration is same. And whenever the angular velocity is decreases, so direction of angular velocity and angular acceleration are opposite. Remember the example, whenever we on the fan, velocity increases. In this case, angular acceleration help angular velocity. So दोनों का direction same रहेगा. Whenever we off the fan, what happen in that case? Velocity decreases. So in that case, direction of angular velocity acceleration जो भी रहेगा वो अपोज करेगा. किसको अपोज करना है? उसको angular velocity को. Remember. And what is the relationship between the angular velocity and linear velocity? So now we know that linear velocity is tangential component, so that is v equal to r ओमेगा. और आपको जो भी फार्मूला पूछा जाएगा वो ही आएगा, दैट इज वेक्टर फॉर्म आपको याद रखना है. दे ऑलवेज आस्क द एग्जांपल ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ वेक्टर फॉर्म. ये अच्छे से आपको याद रखना है. वेरी सिंपल है और वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट है. वन मोर फार्मूला. सो एक्सेलरेशन इज इक्वल टू, मतलब टेंजेंशियल एक्सेलरेशन is equal to, that is the rate of change of velocity. Which velocity? This velocity, that is tangential velocity. और हमें पता है d by dt, v means what? That is r omega. So हमें put करना है r omega. So r तो constant है, r change नहीं होगा. So that is d omega divided by dt. r omega into d omega sorry. Next formula. So that is acceleration is equal to dv by dt. As we know that d by dt of what is the value of v? That is r omega. So radius of the circle वो तो फिक्स रहेगा. Only change क्या हो सकता है? That is angular velocity. और हमें पता है d omega by dt means alpha. So that is what is the relationship between, this is the linear acceleration and this is the angular acceleration. सो दिस इज द रिलेशनशिप बिटवीन द लीनियर एक्सेलरेशन एंड एंगुलर एक्सेलरेशन। तो अब यहाँ पे लिख लेते हैं उसको, ए इक्वल टू आर अल्फा। सो याद रखना है, ये आपका बन गया लीनियर एक्सेलरेशन और ये आपका बन गया एंगुलर एक्सेलरेशन। ये बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट है। ये आपका बन गया लीनियर वेलोसिटी, लीनियर वेलोसिटी, और ये आपका बन गया एंगुलर वेलोसिटी। बहुत ही सिंपल है, अच्छे से याद रखना आपको। व्हाट इज मीन बाय एंगुलर वेलोसिटी? द रेट ऑफ चेंज ऑफ एंगुलर डिस्प्लेसमेंट। व्हाट इज मीन बाय एंगुलर एक्सेलरेशन? द रेट ऑफ चेंज ऑफ एंगुलर वेलोसिटी। रिमेंबर द एसआई यूनिट डायमेंशन, नाउ बोथ आर द वेक्टर क्वांटिटी। और सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट आपको याद रखना है हाउ टू शो द डायरेक्शन ऑफ एंगुलर वेलोसिटी एंड एंगुलर एक्सेलरेशन। रिमेंबर, टेक द स्क्रीनशॉट।